Everybody, and welcome to the show, the basketball edition. I'm Carlos Rivera along with Jake Barry. We've got a new set here, a little desk, so we can converse a little bit about what's going on in the basketball world. And it seems like things are starting to clear up a little bit in 35A. You know, you still got the top teams, but for that fourth playoff spot, a big win for the Donna Redskins this past week as they beat Palmview in a good game there at Donna High School. It's a game that we got to do on 956sports.com. George Garcia with another big game, and Anthony Gonzalez, he was out early on during the season, came back, and with his play, Donna has just been playing spectacular basketball.
Yeah, and Donna, before the season started, had some wins with the in tournaments, and they've kind of carried that along into the district season. So, you know, there's some teams ahead of them right now, but they're in a good spot right now, beating Palmview.
They beat Palmview. Economies is still battling for that fourth playoff spot. Who do you see there towards the top? You got Sherryland, Edinburgh North, and then Robert Villa. Who do you think is going to be the team that's going to take it here?
Well, here's the thing. Robert Villa has played very well. And I just, talking to Coach Rios, the goal was to make the playoffs.
Sure.
But I think they're in a spot right now that they kind of want to see if they can take the top spot. But I really think that the top spot belongs to either Sherryland or Edinburgh North. And I think the lead would go to Edinburgh North right now. They've got the Beltran brothers. They've got the Puerto Rican sensation at the 3 guard. They've got a great post. They've got a number of guys coming off the bench that can really do damage.
All right. So on the girls' side, we talk about 35A basketball, continuing with 35A basketball. The Donna Redskins, the Bravettes, I should say, they've won, I believe, 6 in a row now, and they're in the hunt there to make the playoffs as well. How are things looking on the girls' side?
Well, here's one thing. If you're going to beat Donna, you got to beat Lexi.
Yeah.
So Lexi Williams can do just about everything that any good guard in the Valley can do, and she's exceptional. She does a great job of controlling the ball, getting to the hole, and look, it's hard because she's scoring 30 points a game. I know because I was on the other side of that as far as coaching. Now, having said that, Donna pretty much is, can either get 4th or 5th right now because there's teams in front of her, Edinburgh North, Vella, and Sherryland. So, it's going to come down to the last few weeks, and a team like, one of the La Joyas, possibly Edinburgh or Economies, is going to spoil someone's day, and Edinburgh Economies just beat Vella again. So
all right. We'll wait and see as the season continues. Girls basketball, of course, are a week or 2 weeks ahead of the boys, and things are starting to wrap up here and be very, very interesting in basketball here in the Rio Grande Valley. Have a lot of things to talk about in this show. Football, we're going to talk a little bit about football. There's been some changes. One coach is not coming back next year. Then you have also Sherryland Pioneer looking for some coaches. We'll talk about that. And also a question: if you were starting a new team in the Rio Grande Valley and you're going to get the top talent from across the Rio Grande Valley, you're going to have a great quarterback, great running back, great wide receivers, and a solid defense. Who would you want as your head coach? Think about that for a little bit, Jake. You think about that as well. We'll talk about that later on during the show. But right now, let's take a look at some highlights. We have Mercedes versus PSJ Southwest, the boys and the girls, and McAllen Rowe versus Mackay.
We start our highlights in Mercedes, where the boys were taking on PSJ Southwest. This is Roel Garcia feeding the ball inside to Ovalle, and the Tigers are looking good early on here. More Garcia, watch him, able to pickpocket this one, and he scores it right off the glass. The Tigers start the game on a 12-0 run, and they win it by a final score of 56-38. On the girls' side, the Mercedes Lady Tigers taking on PSJ Southwest. Watch the Lady Tigers working here. The steal, Deidre Barroso, and she scores there for the Lady Tigers. More Lady Tigers, and this time it's the give and go, Alyssa Marquez with the hoop there. The Lady Tigers have been playing excellent basketball over the past few weeks. Watch them here, very aggressive off of the score here. They miss the ball. They miss the hoop, but then they come right back, and this is Anissa Reyes scoring. And the Lady Tigers now 10-1 in district play, winning by a final score of 49-42. McAllen Rowe, the top team in the Valley, taking on Mackay. That's Rudy Gappo scoring for the Rowe Warriors. Mackay on the other end now, Dean Ellis. He goes up high for the Bulldogs. More Mackay, Adam Garcia. Nice little fast break there for the Bulldogs, but Rowe is just way too tough. Gappo scoring again here, and Rowe Warriors, they win by a final score of 63-33.
All right, so the Mercedes Tigers, both the boys and the girls looking good. The girls are looking really, really good. 10-1 so far in district play. They seem to be solid right there at 32-4A. And on the boys' side, Rio Grande City. We haven't really talked much about Rio Grande City, but our friends over there in Starr County, they're playing very, very well. And Roma's doing well, and Mercedes as well. And they're all in that mix in that 32-4A boys' side.
Yeah, and I actually got a chance to talk with some of the Roma coaches and stuff like that. I think it's going to come down to the last few weeks with Roma versus Rio Grande, because Mercedes can still play a role as far as upsetting, possibly getting the top spot, but I really think it's going to be between Rio and Roma for the top spot right now, it looks like.
All right, and something we saw in the highlights on 956sports.com. If you go to the website, someone who's having just an outstanding year, a highlight type of year, Grant Preciado, once again, with a bunch of dunks, and it wasn't just one dunk. We saw him play last week against Harlingen. He's a power forward for Harlingen South playing against Harlingen. He had a dunk, but he had 4 dunks against Pace.
Yeah, and they weren't. Look, I'll be the first one to say I thought the first dunk that we showed last week was okay.
Yeah,
but he's come back, and he's come back with a fury. 4. In fact, in the last game, he had off the glass, alley-oop, one by himself down the middle. So he has. You have to look at the highlights because they're just beautiful, but. He's doing a great job. He can fly.
Absolutely, yeah. And we talked about how he's not very tall, about maybe 6'1", maybe 6'2". He could just get up there. And I had a chance to talk to him last week, saying, "Okay, Grant, are you going to go play football at the next level? You can play basketball at the next level?" He says, "I really don't know. He hasn't decided yet." I definitely think, in watching him play, he's just one of those guys that stands out above everyone else, that he can play at the next level as far as college basketball is concerned.
Yeah, look, you're going to need a three-point shot, but when you can jump like that, it helps a lot.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a break right now. We're going to talk football when we come back. Remember, the question is, who would you choose? Who would you choose, Jake, if you're going to start up a brand new team, you're going to have all the talent in the world, who would you want as your head coach? We'll be right back.
Cut a commercial for the Paint Auto Group's Automotive On-Demand program.
Most car dealers have a gorgeous young lady in their commercial.
That's a great idea. We need one too.
Be right back.
She can tell people how to check out all the videos on the makes
And models that the Paint Auto Group has to choose from.
Ta-da!
You have got to be kidding.
Not sure that's what I meant by gorgeous.
Shop 24/7 at thepaintautogroup.com.
Regardless.
She will get attention.
All right, we'd like to thank our sponsors here at 956sports.com, South Texas College, McDonald's, and Payne Auto Group of the Rio Grande Valley. I'm Carlos Roberto, along with Jake Berry, and the show. We've got a new set here, a new backdrop for you, and we hope you're enjoying everything on the show, brought to you by 956sports.com, McDonald's, South Texas College, and Payne Auto Group of the Rio Grande Valley. Okay, so we had some coaching news, some football news. Spencer Gant was at San Benito for many years, and it just seems he was in a tough district in 31-5A.
Yeah.
It was a tough district, but they're parting ways after all these years. Spencer Gant, he's out there looking for another coaching job. He's not going to be coming back next year.
Yeah, and I got to speak with him on Monday actually before everything kind of happened, and what he did was pretty respectful. He got bought out of his contract. But what he does is that he enables another coach to come in and actually start filling that void and start bringing his own people in and getting the team together. Because if they would have waited until June, I don't think that would have been a good situation for either San Benito or Coach Gant. So it's a great situation.
And it's tough for these coaches because they get paid good money, the coaches in the state of Texas, if you're a high school football coach, but they're relying on 16, 17, and 18-year-old kids. To win on the football field. So it's a tough job. I come from a coaching family. You're a coach yourself. You have to rely on kids in order to perform on the field. It's kind of tough.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, too. You really can't get comfortable with the money while you're coaching because, it's almost like you need to save it because you can't count on the money every year. So I think a lot of coaches from last year can really agree with that.
Yeah, there's always a lot of coaching changes every year in the Rio Grande Valley. So who do you think, Jake, as far as who would be the leading candidate there? Have you heard any rumblings out there?
Well, what I like, what I think is going to happen is there's a great candidate in Gus Cavazos. Gus Cavazos is with Rio Hondo, which is right next to San Benito. He's a Harlingen guy. He's from Harlingen originally. So I like that fit. I like Gus coming all the way from PSG Memorial, where he went there and they weren't very good. And in a few years, he got Louis Gonzalez. He got them back in the playoffs. There's something to be said about what Coach Cavazos has done there. Sure. If you don't know what he's done, you've just been hiding under a rock, because he's done a great job there. I like something like that. There's probably somebody from Harlingen that they're probably going to want to pull over. But Spencer Gant was at Harlingen before that, and Los Fresnos. So I see somebody like that, a guy from that area that has a good pedigree.
Sharyland Pioneer, 38 people have applied for that job. And on that list, Tony Harris. He looks like one of the candidates that could possibly go in there. He's been a solid coach, one of our friends here at 956sports.com, and other good candidates for that Sharyland Pioneer job.
Yeah, there's Marcus Kaufman, Joey Cassius, who was the former coach at Edinburgh High School. He's on the list also. There's some people that were on the list that already got jobs, so you can pretty much scratch off George Pena and Joaquin Escobar. But they're still left on the list. But look, I like Tony Harris on my list. There's another one. There's 3 guys that are on the staff at Sharyland that are still there. Coach Olvera, Coach Tom Lee, and Joe Alex Leal is my other one. And so we've got those guys coming in. Tom Lee, who's a former coach at Mission, on the staff in Sharyland. Sharyland, could go within for that position. So you never know.
What type of talent do you think? Sharyland's always had a lot of talent. And it's not just the first team, but the second team, the guys coming off the bench, the JV teams have always been talented. What type of talent do you think that school's going to have at Sharyland?
Well, Sharyland Pioneer.
Yeah.
At Pioneer, I think they're going to get a lot of underclassmen, kind of like what happened at Robert Vela. They're going to get the underclassmen with a lot of talent that could have a quick start. So I think they're going to have athletes.
They got athletes.
But I think it might take 1 or 2 years.
We know they have athletes because they win all the time in all the sports, whether it's track, soccer, of course, golf does well.
Lacrosse.
Yeah, if they had a lacrosse team, I'm sure they do very well as well. So at Sharyland. So let's go to our question now. We're talking about if you were going to start a team, Jake, in the Rio Grande Valley, and you had one coach to choose from, whether he's available or not, who would you choose as that coach?
Well, if we look at available coaches, that would be different. I like somebody like Manny Gomez. You give me a Manny Gomez, somebody that can go in there and give me the tough kids. Put them in a spot like, if I was in the ghetto, if I was out with the tough kids, I'd put Manny Gomez in there. He'd scare them all straight. They'd walk us, the fine line. I do like somebody like Tony Harris, though. So you give me somebody like Tony Harris who's going to get his kids recruited to college, build a program. I like his offense. He always brings good people in. I like somebody like that. Tony Harris, Manny Gomez, that kind of mold.
I would go with Ron Adame. I think Ron Adame has already proven in 2 years at Sharyland, and he's been at Sharyland forever, that he is one of those coaches that can take the good talent, take all those guys, take all those egos also, and work with them and put together a good team. He's already done it at Sharyland for 2 years, gone 3 deep into the playoffs 2 years in a row. Yeah. So, Coach Gomez would be great. Also, Coach Harris, some other really good coaches across the Rio Grande Valley. But Ron Adame right now would be my pick to put in there because he's already proven that he's been able to do that there at Sharyland. So
yeah, that's a good pick.
So who would be your pick? You can go to 956sports.com. What's the Twitter handle?
At 956sports or our Facebook. Facebook.com/956sports.
And let us know who you would choose as your head coach. You had one guy to choose from across the Rio Grande Valley, and you're going to pick. You're going to have a pretty good team. You got some awesome players coming up. Who would you choose as your coach? We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
We need to cut a commercial for the Paint Auto Group's Automotive On-Demand program.
Most car dealers have a gorgeous young lady in their commercial.
That's a great idea. We need one too.
Be right back.
She can tell people how to check out all the videos on the makes
And models that the Paint Auto Group has to choose from.
Huzzah!
You have got to be kidding.
Not sure that's what I meant by gorgeous.
Shop 24/7 at thepaintautogroup.com.
Regardless.
She will get attention.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Carlos Roberto along with Jake Berry, sponsored by South Texas College, McDonald's, and Payne Auto Group of the Rio Grande Valley. Los Fresnos, the Lady Falcons are having a good year. They're battling right now. I know they lost to Hannah earlier this week, but they're battling to make it to the playoffs. So their Kim Edquist is the head coach over there. You got a chance to see them earlier this year?
Yeah, I got to see them in the McAllen tournament. They think they played Nicky Rowe High School. They dominated Nicky Rowe. Nicky Rowe is a very young team, though. But they played really well. I mean, I think Coach Edquist was trying to sandbag me as far as how well her team was, because they came out and really played well. And they've been playing well all season. That district's pretty tough, though. You have Harlingen and Harlingen South. Vets, I think, is in there, and also, Hannah.
Hannah's still battling.
And Hannah defeated them earlier in the week, but it's going to look. That's another district that's going to come down to the final weeks. Who beats Harlingen and who beats Harlingen South and Vets? It's going to be one of those things. But I like those Fresnos. They got good leadership over there.
All right, well, so for a little bit more on the Los Fresnos Lady Falcons, let's take a look at this story.
Hi, I'm Kim Edquist, the girls varsity basketball coach for Los Fresnos High School. My team is pretty young this year as far as experience. I had 5 senior starters last year. Lost all of them, obviously, to graduation, so we started from scratch. They've got 4 seniors on the team, and they're all 4 of my captains. I don't normally have that many captains, but they've been such great leaders that I couldn't leave them out. We're pretty proud of the kids here. They work really hard. I think we're like 17-8 or somewhere around there, and I think 7-3 in district right now, so we're doing an okay job. Amanda, she's my vocal one. She'll let you know, one way or the other if you're doing it good or if you're not doing it very good. And she's just a tremendous worker.
Who doesn't love basketball? I mean, it's awesome. It gets you away from anything, and it's just, I've been playing it since I was like 10, 8. So it's just awesome. This is amazing.
And then Kimmy's my quiet one. She's, she stands about 5'2" and all of nothing there, but she works. She's a speedster. She's very good on defense.
Well, ever since I was in 7th grade, middle school, I started playing and I started loving the sport, and it's just a fun sport to play. It's my passion now.
Jennifer, call her Jen, she was our cross-country state runner. She went to state cross-country, so yeah, she has all the endurance in the world. So if I need to put a guard out there, she's not a scorer for me, but she's out there to play defense. If I need a defensive stopper, we put Jen out there.
It's fun. Teamwork. It's like you depend on another person and they depend on you.
Vivian Alvarez, she's my other post. You look at her and she's the one you're thinking, man, is this girl a basketball player or what? But she comes up with some things and she'll get the rebounds for us. And she's another quiet kid out there on the floor. Doesn't say a whole lot, but she produces at the end, and that's been a real pleasant surprise for both Coach Torino and myself.
It comes naturally, I guess. Like, it's just been a favorite sport. I just played it once, and it was like I was born to play it.
All right, that was Darren Henderson, one of our photojournalists here at 956sports.com with that story on the Los Fresnos Lady Falcons. So that should do it, Jake. Another good show in the books. We've got some good basketball coming up this week, and we'll be back to talk more basketball on the show next time. For Jake Berry, I'm Carlos Roberto. We'll see you.